Oh my gosh, you guys have no idea how emotional I am to restart this stream of the Secure the Bag Book Club. Welcome back to another installment and the first of the month of June. And also, since I've been on hiatus from content creating and from sharing things with the book club and all that good stuff, I'm so happy to be back. Shout yourself out if you are tuning in live in the chat so I can see who's here, because otherwise I won't know who's tuning in live and who's not. But yes, welcome to the Secure the Bag Book Club. First, I want to start out by saying I, Brooke Brown, am not a guru. I'm no expert, but I do know that showing how self-education translates into wealth building is my jam. Okay, so we are going to get into another book, but first, a little bit of housekeeping, a little bit of just logistics, right? So first of all, since I've been gone, I have not been feeling guilty about being gone because I know that I left you all with a wealth of information and content to get through. In fact, right, the Secure the Bag Book Club has gone through all of these wonderful books since October, right? We've covered everything from taxes, intellectual property, we've talked about real estate, we've talked about credit, we've talked about buying art, like all these really fun topics, talking about acquiring assets. And you can go and look at the playlist for whatever topic that you're looking for in past lives. So you can look at that on my channel. Welcome in, Comma Green. So glad you're here. And we also have the Asset Academy on my website, whatbrooksspent.com/course. Go there if you are trying to play catch up. If you're like, listen, I just want the crash course of like what all we've been talking about and give me the highlights, give me the cliff notes. The Asset Academy is going to be your place to go for the past books. I think I have 2 books that I have not uploaded yet, but of the 6 books that we've covered, there's 4 modules that you can go ahead and look through. So that is one thing. The other thing is that there is the schedule for the current book, which we're going to talk about now. So June's book is The Psychology of Money by Morgan Housel. You might have seen him on podcasts like The Diary of a CEO. He had a really popular video with that author. And I actually didn't choose this book. This book chose me, actually, because the book was recommended first by Walt of Wall Street Bets here on YouTube. Then Comma, who is on the live now, she recommended the book, and I was like, I gotta read this book. For crying out loud, everyone has been talking about this book, and I need to dive in. So I started listening to the audiobook, and immediately was like, oh my God, the book club. We need to discuss. There are things that we need to discuss, right? So if you go on the website, whatbrooksspent.com/events, you can find the schedule, the reading schedule for how we're going to make it through this book in 3 weeks' time. Technically 4, because this week is a week, and then we go on through June 24th is our last broadcast. Yay, excited to read together. I know, right, Comma? I agree. And the other last logistics thing is that the audiobook is available on Spotify Premium, and it's also available on Hoopla, the Hoopla app. If you go through your public library and you have a library card, you can access the audiobook version. I think every library can have access to it, but my library certainly does. So there you go. So yes, if you go to the link in the description of this video, there is a link to the Spotify playlist where all the books that we've covered are on that list. It's actually one of the requirements for why I choose the books that I do, is to make sure that they're accessible, not just in paper form, but also in the audiobook form as well. So there we go. Now, this book talks, so the tagline, the subtitle is Timeless Lessons on Wealth, Greed, and Happiness. don't think it does justice to the mind shift that you are going to have when you read this book. I read chapter 1 and was like, oh, he's on to something, right? One thing I wanted to ask as we prepare for this book is, what is your biggest financial regret? Let me know in the chat, either if you're live or leave in the comments if you're watching later. What is your biggest financial regret? I'll start, right? My biggest financial regret is scholarships. I went to college with a scholarship. It was like a tuition scholarship. I went to Howard University. Shout out to HU. And I got a scholarship, and I lost it my first year, my freshman year. I lost it because I was too busy with extracurricular activities, that I wasn't practicing good study habits. And I was just used to, studying coming easy. I was used to being able to kind of wing it on tests and just, multiple choice, whatever, right? But I ended up losing my scholarship and having to take out student loans for undergrad. And then for graduate school, I regret that I didn't wait patiently enough for a scholarship. I had one program which I wanted to go to, and I immediately was like, this is it, this is the one. And I, in a very rushed situation or whatever, I was like, I'm going to North Carolina. I was in DC at the time, and I was like, I'm going to North Carolina, see ya. And, off I went to graduate school, and it was a pricey private university. And yeah, so those are my two biggest regrets. Now, mind you, I got the student loan situation under control now, but it's grown to 6 figures worth of student loan debt in the end because I didn't, take care of business with my scholarship. So that's my first regret. Kama says her biggest regret is credit card debt. Right? And all the financial gurus will tell you, like, go get into credit card debt. And it makes you feel so low when you even charge a single stick of gum. But what we'll find in this book, what I'm realizing about this book, is that it talks about what they call behavioral economics. And basically not just the what of what we do with our money, but the why we do what we do with our money. So I think, you will leave this book knowing that, you're not doing as bad as you think you are. So I love that for you, right? Already. Next question. What is the strongest opinion you have about wealthy people? And if you don't have a strong opinion about wealthy people, like billionaires, what is your strongest opinion about poor people? I'm curious. Mine is, this one's for wealthy people. I have a theory, and this was confirmed recently on a podcast that I was listening to, but I have a theory. I have a theory that wealthy people do not work as hard as they would like you to think that they do. In America, the whole thing about meritocracy and you earn everything that you get. And, if you're wealthy, it's because you worked your way up and you bootstraps. I have a theory that they don't work as hard as they would like us to think that they do. Okay. And then, and I'm not dismissing them outright and saying nothing that they've done has mattered. But I do think that there are some wealthy people that worked smarter, not harder, and got specific advantages. And the book is going to talk about some of those specific advantages, including people like Bill Gates, Warren Buffett. Yeah. So we're going there. Okay. Kama says her strongest opinion about wealthy people, they don't chase money. Okay, that's definitely a good observation, right? That, and correct me if I'm misunderstanding what you're saying, but you're saying that wealthy people don't fuss over money the way that we fuss over it. We common folk, right? That they are not as stressed about the dollar, right? Because they don't have to be. They have an abundance of it. Is that what you're getting at? Because yes, she says 100%. Wonderful. Okay, I'm with you there. I'm with you. Third question. What makes you curious about how our brains make financial decisions? My thing is like, what makes you curious? What makes you, what if you hear the title, The Psychology of Money? What about your own psychology? Are you like, I'd love to know why I do the things that I do? So for me, I would love to know about two things: environment and its influence on how I spend money or don't spend money, right? Or save or invest or whatever, right? Second thing, mimetic, I think I'm pronouncing that correctly. Mimetic, what is it? Mimetic, decision making. So, mimetic decision making, and this might be a new term for you guys because it was a new term for me. Mimetic decision making is where we basically are influenced and we don't even realize just how much we are influenced by the people around us. So we are essentially mimicking the behaviors that we see of the people that are around us that we come in contact with as a lot, the people that we look up to, respect in our inner circles and our just circles of influence, and the people that we are around. Mimetic decision making says monkey see, monkey do. Okay, let me know if that was a new term for y'all in the comment section, because it was a new term for me for sure. And so I just wanted to get a feel for what you guys are just concerned about with your money overall as well. I know Kama talked about credit card debt, which I am too very much so trying to tackle. The funny thing is I'm not actually trying to tackle my credit card debt as much because I realize that I'm kind of under earning at the moment, and so I might just have to rely a little bit on credit cards just to make ends meet. I'm not going overboard with my credit card purchases, but there are some things that, like, just to make a quality of life situation happen, I'll swipe my credit card. So I want you guys to not feel ounce of guilt as we walk through the psychology of money and why we do the things that we do. I love this book because it doesn't just talk about how we're spending. It talks about how we're investing. It talks about how we are saving. It talks about how we are depending on systems, how we are reliant on markets and trends and all those things. And it's going to talk about it in depth in the book. We're going to get through this in 3 weeks. So you see my tabs here. They're going to be pretty thick sections, but I want to warn you that it's going to go by really quickly because the book talks about, the book is just a pretty easy read. It's not like thick with information. It's more so like stories and just cautionary tales, and those on and on those goes. Kama says it was the mimetic decisions was a new term for her. Absolutely, yay! I'm not the only one. Wonderful. And then investing is another interesting topic. Absolutely. One of the things that I'm gonna give you a little preview into what he talks about. There's one part of somewhere between chapters 1 and 5. He talks about how our financial decisions are fairly new concepts, especially in the scope, the horizon of human existence and even modern society. He was like, the 401k is like 30 years old. It's not, it hasn't even gone through a generation yet. I think the Roth IRA is from 1998. So I was what, 9 years old when the Roth IRA came to be. Women couldn't get credit cards until 1975. Hello. What else? Retirement as a concept is only 2 generations old. Before there was any talk about Social Security or any of those things. So retirement was just retire. No, you work until you die. Duh. And that's something that I was like, whoa, epiphany. So I hope this taste. We're talking about a taste of what's to come in this book. And I'm just so excited to talk to you guys about the psychology of money. Comment says, wow, that's surprising. I thought retirement has been around longer. You would think, right? Absolutely. All right. So we are coming to the end of this broadcast, but continue the conversation in the comment section. As you're reading, come back to this video and be like, ooh, stick a pin in this because we need to talk. We need to discuss. Okay? Because that's what the Secure the Bag Book Club is all about. And we are about, educating each other. You guys are informing me of new things just as much as I'm informing you of new things. And of course, we are all learning new things because of the books that we are covering. Wonderful. Thank you. Okay, the comment said, so glad you're back, Brooke. I know, right? I mean, I have, there's been so much going on since my last broadcast. I cut my hair. What else have I been doing? I've increased my income streams, which I'll tell you guys more about in another video. I have what else has been happening? I got sick, and that's one of the reasons why I stopped doing the broadcast. I was on hiatus because I was just burnt out, honestly. But I'm back now, and I'm here to, I'm here to do this thing. Thank you, Hairless Gorgeous. Comment says, you're too kind. So awesome. All right, you guys. Well, you guys have a great evening. Again, stay active in the comment section, and we will talk more in next week's broadcast, Wednesday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Make sure you tell the others. I'll see you on the next broadcast. Bye.